double, you know. So shocks can happen. But look, it wasn't the greatest performance, let's be honest, from this team. I mean, Spain weren't at that scintillating best, but they played well. Getting to half time, 0-0, sort of right, okay, that's not too bad. Second half, come see what we do. And within a minute of the restart, we're 1-0 down. Nico Williams, Yamal manages to get a ball across. Look, the defence was nowhere to be seen. It was shocking defending, to be honest with you. And Nico Williams only had to place it with power, and that's exactly what he did. But, we got back into the game, and we made a couple of substitutions. Eventually, we took Harry Kane off. Now, I will have a talk about Kane at the end of my little review here before I ask these guys as well. Look, we got back into it through Cole Palmer. What a great goal that was, lovely layoff from Jude Bellingham and Palmer. Sweet as a nut, into the back of the net. Couldn't have placed any better. Unai Simon had no chance whatsoever with a shot. 1-1, you're thinking, right, this is game on. Let's go for it. But we don't go for it. We sit back again. Instead of going for the jugular, just sit back and try and soak up the pressure. But we're trying to soak it up to take it to extra time and maybe penalties, because maybe Southgate thought that's the best chance how to win this game on penalties. And then, of course, Spain go ahead. 3 minutes from time, again, John Stones trying to play the offside, didn't work. And unfortunately, they score. The substitute scores for them. And by that time, it's too late then. It's, because we've got a amount to come back. Yes, we did have a comeback. Guy's header was cleared off the line by Olmo. Very unlucky, of course. And the follow-up shot went over the bar. But look, Spain have been the team of the tournament, so you got to say they deserved that win in a way. But what I will say is, and this is where my part of the rant is going to. This is where my part of the rant is now going to come up. So what I did was, I was shouting at the TV. I'm thinking, right, Southgate, come on, make some positive changes. Make some positive changes. We weren't doing that. Harry Kane, in my opinion, should have been withdrawn at half time. He should have been taken off at half time and never seen on that pitch again. Watkins should have come on at half time, I feel. Maybe Palmer could have come on as well. Manu was okay, but I wasn't too impressed with him, if I'm honest. There's a couple of games where he's been a bit, his passing's not been there, and I've criticised the lad. But look, there was changes there we could have made. Now, if you look at that bench we've got of players, we've got a talented bench there of players. Now, Phil Foden is another player who we'll talk about as well as Harry Kane. This guy has not turned up at the tournament whatsoever. Yes, he had one good first half against the Netherlands. Other than that, he's been absolutely diabolical. Now, why is he still playing? Why is Southgate consistent with this guy? I think you're knocking Jude Bellingham to heck because you're playing two number 10s. Then you're asking Jude Bellingham to play on the left. He's not a left winger. Jude Bellingham is a 10. And I feel Jude Bellingham's game suffered because of Phil Foden playing as well. And it goes back to the years, do you remember when Gerrard and Lampard playing together? We had that problem. But not only that, on the bench, we actually have the best left winger in the Premier League from last season. And the reason I say it is because he was streets ahead of Rashford, streets ahead of Grealish last year. And yet, he doesn't get game time. And that is Anthony Gordon. So why the hell is Anthony Gordon not put on that pitch for? If he was up against Carvial, he would have caused him a whole load of problems last night, believe me. With nobody's pace is like, he's got an eye for goal, but he's got an eye for a pass as well. But Southgate is far too blind to see that. And it's just absolutely diabolical that this lad does not get to go on the pitch. It's disgraceful. And to be honest with you, Southgate is out of his depth, I'm afraid. And the sooner he resigns, the better. And I think he will resign because, look, He has to go. I don't care what Jeff Hurst says. You know, I respect Jeff Hurst, you know, for what he done in the World Cup final. But look, Southgate has to go because there's been too many mistakes in this tournament for me. We have scammed our way to the final. And I say scammed because we are the biggest scammers in football. Because did we deserve to get that final? No. We were 30 seconds from going out against Slovakia until Bellingham's wonder goal and then Kane's header in extra time. It took us to penalties after going 1-0 down against Switzerland to go through. It was a last-minute goal against the Dutch that got us to the final. Now, Southgate knew we were coming up against a cracking team in Spain. But again, he starts with Harry Kane. Why did you start with Harry Kane for? The guy's not fit. Put him on the bench. You know? And this is the thing. This is favouritism from Southgate again. And the likes of Adam Morton, who could have come on and helped change that game last night as well, sitting in midfield. Why wasn't he given a go? Okay, the goalkeepers will not get a go because unless you keep us injured, of course, or sent off or whatever. But, you know, there's players on that bench who could have come on and helped change the game. That's what your substitutes are for. He should have been bold. He should have gambled. You know, he should have had Foden off. He should have had Foden off for Gordon. But he didn't take Foden off for Gordon. But we brought Palmer on. You know, Palmer's playing well. Why isn't he starting games? You know, it's beggars belief. You know, we saw Anthony Gordon consoling Saka last night because Saka was in tears. We saw Bellingham kick something in anger at the bench. And you can't blame him. Because they all probably thought we should have won this game if we'd played the right tactics, of course. And then you have the gutless FA come out with a statement today when the players are coming back to Stansted Airport and they're being dropped off through a back door. And the FA have come out with a statement. England players and staff will be travelling back on a charter flight. We'll leave the airport via a private terminal, so there will not be an opportunity for the public to greet them on arrival. We thank you, our incredible fans, for all of your support throughout the tournament, FA spokesperson. Now, I tell you what, the reason they've done that, I tell you why they've done that, is so Southgate doesn't get booed. That is exactly why the FA have done that. It's gutless. You know, there's fans who've gone out there, spent thousands to go and watch this. To watch what? The performances in this tournament have been absolutely diabolical. Nowhere near as good as what we were doing in the World Cup. Or in the World Cup, we went out and beat Iran 6-1 in the first game. You know, and in the Euros, we were winning well. But again, you know, this tournament, we've been absolutely shocking. And then for the FA to do that, you know, fans have probably turned up the airport, hoping to see the team and greet them. But no, the FA has put a stop to that. And I think that is a major, major own goal from the FA. But before I get anybody else's comments, I'll just nip into the chat because we've got some comments in the chat as well. George says, hi all, hi to you, mate, hope you're well. Hi guys, says Ian, hi Ian, hope you're well. George says, evening, Tony, John and Jamie, good evening to you, mate.
There you go, lad.
Ian says, did you send a friend request on Facebook, John, to him?
I'm not sure if I did, Ian. If I have, I'll double check it again. If I do, I'll add you.
Yeah.
Add you, mate.
Lawrence says, evening, everyone. Good evening to you. George says, I was screaming at TV after 52 minutes. Slow gate changed. Yeah, absolutely, George. It was disgraceful. Mick says, big up, Tony, John Sinclair and Jamie. Good evening to you, Mick.
Big up, Mick.
Bia Ballbag says, Southgate is a disgrace. A lot of our lads were proven to be hype jobs. I thought we were pathetic last night. Pathetic for a final again. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you on that one as well. There's changes could have been made there and you just didn't change it. Mick says, I don't blame the players. I blame the system. Southgate out, Bruce in. No, I don't thank you very much.
Richard, Bruce is on about field abuse.
Yeah, Rage Chris says, Southgate's problems is he sticks with the tried and tested, with the exception of me and you. Yeah, absolutely. I've got to agree with you on that one. I don't know why he just didn't try anybody different. Peter says, a stat I heard last night in Kane's 2 Euro finals, he touched the ball once in the opposition box in 180 minutes, so we need to move on from Kane. Maybe look, Kane's a goal scorer. He's proved it in Germany, and he's proved it for England. Maybe it's the system Southgate's playing that is hindering Kane's game, and maybe it's making Kane look a bad player. Put Kane under a different manager, he probably looks better. Well, you saw for Bayern Munich how well he plays. He doesn't play like that for Bayern Munich. So it's got to be down to the management of Southgate and his coaching. That's what it's got to be down to. Bias says we're off to sunny Spain. Admiral says, big up, guys. Just dropping the like. Thank you very much, mate. Beer Ballback says, the only players worth credit last night were Pickford, Palmer for showing them what they meant to do, and Shaw, considering he's hardly played since March, did not disgrace himself. Do you know what? I absolutely agree with that. I mean, look, Pickford was in tears at the end of that. If you watch the games, Pickford is constantly shouting at the players to get the ball forward and stop passing it back. And, he seems to be showing his passion. And I thought Shaw did really well last night, because I think England looked better with Shaw on the left, in all honesty. And considering he hasn't played for a long time, he's done really, really well. David says Gordon slept with Gareth's daughter or something because he hates him. It's bizarre because he's talk sense and embarrassing that with the airport. Yeah, it is absolutely. That is absolutely embarrassing with the airport, and it's a disgrace if that's the case. Tino, hi. Says Jonathan. Yeah, we're going to get into them, mate. Don't worry. Julie says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Julie. Hope you're well. Hi, guys. Says some. Good afternoon. Good evening to you. Zach says, do you think Jamie.Mccreedy will sign a new contract with Bengal Tigers?
Maybe. We'll have to see.
Hello, all, says Michael McIntyre. Hello to you. The wheel. It's a holiday season. Schools are breaking up, says Danielle, so it could be the airport that are Blackburn fan greeting the players. Maybe, but Stansted's normally all right. I was not sure if your account had been hacked, John. Good evening, everyone, says Julie. Jamie's got okay. We'll not read that one. T-Rex was screaming at the team. Yes, he was, George, absolutely. Try and keep your comments a bit more subtle, please, guys. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so John's sharing his stream. Right. I'll come to you, John. I mean, last night's game. What's your thoughts, John? Are you disappointed? Do you think we could have done more to win that game?
We could have done a lot more, Tony, if I'm honest with you guys. I mean, look, it's a final, right? Go out there, show your world-class players, right? Well, some are world-class, and you just go out there, do your bit, yeah? Just show the world, ask the question, do you really want the trophy? I would have just got all the players out there, put the trophies in the dressing room, and ask them that question. You look at that thing, you looking at it, go out there on that pitch, take it a spin, and go for the juggler, yeah? Again, in Southgate style, we were too defensive against Spain. We're playing fantastic football, right? They control the game, they dictate the game. We didn't have a clue. Every time we get the ball, we hit it long all the flipping time, yeah? And Spain just loves it every single time. Rodri only played 45 minutes, yeah? He had a cracking game for 45, yeah? Their back four looked solid, yeah? But I didn't think they would look like... I didn't look they were fantastic. But if you look at the players they've got, yeah? You've got Williams and you also got Yamal, right? Those two are going to be the dangerous, yeah? Morata works his socks off, yeah? Whether you like it or not, yeah? But if you are going to win, we have to stop the two wingers, yeah? Luke Shaw had a fantastic first half, yeah? Marking out Lamal, yeah? Neco Williams did his bit as well, but I think Walker did okay first half, but second half, I think needs a night to forget, to be honest with you. Because if you look at the goals, right, the first goal, not for the first time, we gave the ball away, yeah? And guess who set up Williams for the first goal? Lamal, 17-year-old, just turned 17-year-old, played across on the right, straight to Williams, all alone. Where was he? Where was Walker? Where was the defence? And he starts to pass Pickford. Absolutely no chance, yeah? Tony, they should have scored a couple more before we got the equaliser. Necker Williams had a shot. Nick had a shot just flashed just past the post. We were rattled. Yeah. Lamau should have scored as well. We were all over the place, Tony. Yeah. And I'm thinking Gareth needs to make a change very, very quickly. I would have changed the whole lot. I would have changed 5 players and flipping go for it. Kane, another poor game. Yeah. Foden, where is he? Poor game. Bellingham did a few things. He had a shot just past the post as well. And I thought Kyle Walker was poor. John Stones played well. Shaw was excellent, right? Declan Rice never got into the game. Okay, he should have scored late on. I get that. But Cole Palmer, how many times have we said on the show, we're championing about this guy? Get this guy on the pitch. It'll make a difference, yeah? And he scored a worldie of a goal from 25 yards in the bottom corner. Simon had no chance, yeah? And from that then on, Tony, right? We should have gone for the foot. We should have gone for the juggler. Guess what? We sat back again. We sat back yet again, playing defensive football. Why did you not rattle them? We didn't we? If we had a goal, right? If we had a couple more chances, hit the post, clear off the line, etc., right? And we go and get beat by a last minute goal, cool. I would have accepted that because we've given everything. We can't say that because we've just gone back to revert the type. Sitting back, sitting deep, and be defensive until Spain got that goal. That was not offside. I thought Stones could have dropped off a little bit, but he didn't. And then he got and scored a winning goal, and that was game set and done. We was never going to come back from that, Tony. I swear down. But the one thing I'm going to say, Spain were the best team, the best in the tournament. They played the best football. The best nation won, not just last night, for the whole of the tournament, because Tony, they were that good. And I'll tell you what, right? 2 years' time for World Cup, right? I doubt we win that because you've got Argentina, Spain, Colombia being in the mix, France be the conversation, Germany be the conversation as well, yeah? But we need a manager, a winner, and I'm not talking about Lee Carsley here because he'll play exactly the way Southgate has played. Forget Carsley, yeah? Frank Lampard, do us a favour, man. No, thank you. No, thanks. For me, if you want a manager who's going to come in, we want winners in the team. The manage these fantastic group of players we've got here. Jurgen Klopp, Mauricio Pochettino, right? It's got to be one of those two, Tony. And Eddie Howe's going to be in the conversation as well. I don't want Eddie to leave. But when your name comes up for the England job, I'm afraid to say, I guarantee you one thing, they will talk to them. Look at what happened to Bobby Robson. He went for an England job, did he? And when you come in for it, then I'm afraid it's tempting. It's too tempting. But I want Eddie to stay. But I do, for the first time tonight, I do fear the worst. But I hope he stay.
Yeah, well said, John. I mean, Daniela says, Spain were the best team in the very poor Euros. We could have had a chance. The pace of Bowen, Watkins and Gordon from the start, absolutely. Daniel, I mean, look, Bowen didn't get much as well, did he? I mean, it's just very, very poor. We had game changers on that bench, and he clearly didn't bring them on. Opinion on racism? We don't condone it whatsoever.
Yeah, facts.
I don't want Southgate sacked. I just want him deported.
He's been linked to the America and USA job. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think he'd be rushed into it, by the way, because they're looking for a head coach there as well. But they've got 2 years to fix up because at the minute they need someone's going to come in and make a difference. Otherwise, I can't get out of the group stage.
No. I love my country. I didn't want Southgate to win that trophy. I can't stand him from the kneeling to the gaslighting our fans. I've never known any other English manager to disrespect the fans.
Totally. Can't just comment to that quickly, right? I know James what I would say quickly. Back on the airport, right? I mean, I think that's an absolute disgrace. I mean, they're taking the easy way out. Yeah. They could have been 10,000, 20,000 just to turn up to see the heroes coming in. They paid the hard-earned cash, right? Just to see them come in and they go and do that. No, I'm sorry, that ain't on. It would happen in Italy or Germany. Look at Switzerland, yeah? They had 20, 30,000 waiting for the Swiss players to come out, and they got a heroes welcome. And here we are, right? We're not allowed. I think that's an utter disgrace.
Absolutely, John.
And that statement is a cheapskate, an absolute cop-out.
Yeah. Lawrence says, Pochettino would be my first choice, never buying into any narrative about the England manager needing to be English. A name that I would throw in there is Thomas Tuchel, because, look, Tuchel's good when it comes to knockout stages of games, and I wouldn't rule Tuchel out. Pochettino hasn't really won a lot, has he? I know he won something at PSG, but I mean, that's different. But at Tottenham, he bottled the league. Daniela says, yes, the best team won, but they're better Spanish teams in the past. Yeah, absolutely. Right. I don't see why everyone's miserable. I won £300. If there's anything, there's a banker itself being a loser. Well done for winning £300, mate, but rate the dream, not the squad playing, but add Maguire, Rashford and Musiala.
Musiala plays for Germany.
Yeah, he used to play for England.
He did.
But
I'll tell you what, whoever escaped him, whoever never checked out his talent, I think there's got to be a Stewart's inquiry, because that's a massive, massive, massive missed opportunity there.
David says, I have £100 on Potter to be the next England manager at once, so I need him sacked. Look, do you know what it is? I don't want Potter anywhere near the England team. If Potter's England manager, I'm sorry, but I won't be supporting England, not with Potter in charge. I cannot stand that man. After his comments, when he was Chelsea manager, when he played us at St James's Park, we beat them 1-0. His comments before playing us, he was very disrespectful to Newcastle, and he was after the game as well. And the way he was disrespectful about Dan Burn as well. So I do not want that man anywhere near the England job. He's not good enough. He went to Chelsea, he flopped. He had all them players. Yes, he done well for Brighton, but he's gone to a big club and he couldn't do it. So if he can't do it at a big club, I'm sorry, he can't do it for England. And I don't want him anywhere near the England team, or else I will be shouting Potter out as soon as he's announced. How has he disrespected the fans? I hope Eddie looks in the mirror and says, no, I'm not ready yet. I have a lot to learn as a manager. The thing is, right, now, before I get to Jamie, this is what I've always said. Everybody says, and we all know, because we've heard the comments ourselves come from Eddie Howe, that when he was asked a while back last year about the England manager's job, and he said, not at the stage yet, because he loves the club football. But like I said the other night, and I've said this for a long time, and people might not like this, but you've got to be realistic. Now then, if England come calling, if the FA call Newcastle and say, can we speak to Eddie Howe? First thing Newcastle are going to do is not stand in his way. Because, one, it's anybody's dream to be the manager of their national team. When you play for your national team, that is your dream as well. So, they might say, yes, you can go and speak to Eddie. It doesn't mean to say Eddie Howe's going to take the job. But Newcastle might say, yes, we'll give you permission. And if Eddie Howe did accept, then there'll be a compensation package to pay. But now, if Eddie Howe does go and talk to the FA, and I've said this before, if he goes to the FA and talks to them, and he has good talks with them, and although he likes the club day-to-day football, he might actually think, well, do you know what? Look at the squad of players we've got. Look at the players that are there. Jude Bellingham. The likes of Bellingham. You've got likes of Anthony Gordon. You're going to have Livramento, Lewis Hall coming through. You've got a great talent of players coming through, not just through, and from the under-21s as well. Harvey Elliott's another one. Now, you look at all these players you've got coming through. Eddie Howe may think to himself, yeah, I would love to win something with a club, but in 2 years' time, I could be a World Cup winning manager. I could go and take this team to win the World Cup. And he may think, this is too good for me to turn down. I can't turn this opportunity down, because if I turn it down now, one, will I ever get offered it again? And two, it could be a complete rebuild job if you go. So he may think to himself, I can't turn this down. And if he does, if he did go for it and he took the England job, not one Newcastle fan would have a bad word to say about Eddie Howe, because they'd understand his ambitions. Because let's be honest, Eddie Howe's an ambitious man. Anybody has ambitions, you know, and we know Eddie Howe is the favourite amongst a lot of England fans, and these are a lot of non-Newcastle fans. A lot of England fans want Eddie Howe in charge because of the style of football he plays. Now, if Eddie Howe was manager of that team last night, we would have beat Spain. Let's be honest. Because we wouldn't be sitting back under Eddie Howe. We would be pressing them. The intensity would be there. We would be pushing them. And I think they would have froze under that Spain, and I think they would have crumbled. When they took Rodri off at half time, I was like, oh, hang on, that's good. He's come off. That's helped us out a bit. But we didn't capitalise on that. But Eddie Howe wouldn't be sitting back saying defend, defend, defend. Go out there and attack. Because the best form of defence is attack. Something Southgate should know about. But he obviously doesn't. So, look, that's what I'm trying to say on the Eddie Howe thing, you know. Yes, we know what he said in the past. But it's a totally different scenario when you're sat there in front of the FA and they're asking you to become England manager and they're asking you their questions and saying, look, we love the style of football and things like that. And, you know, the thing is, you know, I don't know what the FA will interview him and ask him about if they do interview him, but at the end of the day, you know, it could just change his mind and he could just say, yeah, I'll have the job. And, you know, that's fair enough if he does do that, as much as we don't want to lose him. But if he did do that, that's absolutely fine. I mean, what do you think, Jamie, about that, Eddie Howe? You know, it's a totally different scenario, isn't it?
It would be. There's a difference between managing at international level and for club level. I like Eddie Howe as a manager, but is he proven enough to go ahead and win England a major competition? I know he'll have better players at his disposal. He's done a decent job with Newcastle, but you could argue that other managers could have come in and done a similar thing. I mean, would you two make the same argument, or do you think Eddie Howe's the best manager that you could have got and he would have delivered the same?
Well, if you look at Gareth Southgate, right? He got Middlesbrough relegated. He was the under-21s manager. Allardyce got sacked because of some betting scandal and lasted 67 days, but it's got a 100% win record. So Southgate only had 4 games and then he took over. And Southgate hasn't won anything in his career. So if Southgate can do it, why can't Eddie Howe do it?
I get that. I do get that. But can we just talk about last night and the substitutions, if you don't mind? I think...
And Eddie Howe, remember, where he took Bournemouth from, they were ready to go out the league altogether. They were in a lot of trouble. He kept them up, got them promoted. They came all the way to the Premier League. They stayed in the Premier League for 5 years. Okay, yes, they got relegated on his watch, but that wasn't his fault in some ways. Because when you got players like Ryan Fraser, who rejected a 12-week contract, or 6-week contract, just to help the club through the last 6 weeks over Project Restart. If he had signed that contract, there's a possibility Bournemouth wouldn't have went down that season. Other things went against them. The ghost goal against Sheffield United from Aston Villa, things like that. Villa should have gone down. So, you know, Eddie Howe was extremely unlucky when they got relegated. But look what he done when he come to us. Kept us up in the Premier League when we were written off by everybody. We'll never stay up in the Premier League. You don't go 14 games without a win before and stay in the Premier League. Well, we've proved that. Got me to the Champions League. Under a lot of injuries last season, we got to 7th place. So, you know, I see where you're coming from, but I'm just trying to put it in perspective of what Eddie Howe's done compared to Southgate. Could Southgate do what Eddie Howe's done? I don't think so.
I agree. I do agree with that. But can we just talk about the substitutions that were made last night and the players that were called up in the first place? So I like the way that the semi-finals when Southgate changed his team. I really like that when he played 3 at the back. It's more attacking, it's more direct, and it's more what England are about. However, we talk about players like Luke Shaw and Adam Wharton. Why were they called up in the first place? Luke Shaw's been injured for the majority of the season. Again, hasn't really been up to the standard that he has or he could have been since the Euros in 2021. Adam Wharton's had a great second half of the season, but is he proven at international level, senior level, as much as other players? No. I would have stuck with Jordan Henderson. I would have brought him onto the plane, because even if you're not going to play Adam Wharton and you don't play Jordan Henderson if they swap, I think you'd rather have Jordan Henderson behind the scenes than Adam Wharton. Would you disagree or agree? Because I think that's the key thing in our team was the lack of leadership. Jude Bellingham, ever since he's gone to Real Madrid, he's not been the same player. He's been a bit more arrogant. Harry Kane wasn't showing captain material last night. Declan Rice did. But what would you say? Would you have stayed with Henderson, although he is one of Gareth Southgate's buddies, as you like? I mean, I would have kept with him and called him up.
No, because I think when Adam Wharton come on against Bosnia and Herzegovina at St James's Park, I thought he played well. He was spraying the ball about. So I think he should have had some game time in the Euros. I really do. You know, he could have come on against, say, Serbia and started spraying the ball about, but we didn't see him. Same with Gordon. We only saw 4 minutes of Gordon, and that was it.
You mentioned that about Kane, if he was in a different position, in a different role in a different team under a different manager, that he might score a lot more goals. He scored over 50 goals in the Bundesliga this season. He is a goal scorer, but he's not great in build-up play. So that makes me think, if we played a team with wingers in a 4-3-3, and Harry Kane is the target man into the box, which he's not really being right now. He's we have to play through Harry Kane, and Harry Kane's not great with the ball at his feet. He's not that technical, like we've seen with Foden and Bellingham and Rice and the players that can be more technical in these situations. I would put Harry Kane, I'll keep him up front if I was England manager in this tournament. I think his time's now gone. But I would have definitely taken him off at half-time for Oliver Watkins or Ivan Toney.
Yeah, he should have. I mean, it was too late when he brought these changes on. Yes, okay, Palmer scored, but, after that, it was just really, it was just like we were chasing the game, trying to get back into it when Spain went 2-1 up, and we shouldn't have been chasing the game. We should have been attacking like that. Instead of chasing the game, why aren't we attacking like that before then? Again, it goes down to the pot. Southgate's proactive. Is not proactive, he's reactive, because as soon as we go a goal down, he starts making changes. And it's like, it looks like it's panic. And it's like, he should be doing this he should be doing this before that. He should be proactive and thinking, right, okay, how can I better change this? He had the half time. He could have said to Harry Kane, look, sorry, Harry, you're not fit enough. I'm going to put Watkins on. Me and you're not playing well. I'm going to bring you off, and I'm going to put Palmer on as well, and move Bellingham back into that role of, alongside Rice. And play Foden in the 10. But again, we didn't see that happen at half time. If that had happened at half time, maybe we won that game. Who knows? But to me, it just looked like Southgate wanted to play for penalties, and that's not good enough.
And also in this tournament, we've left it late quite a lot. We've seen a lot of second half goals, 3 obviously yesterday. But you mentioned the 6-1 battering that we had in the World Cup against Iran. If we played them today with the current England squad, with the current England setup, we don't win that game 6-1. We probably win 2-0. Right, so something's happened in the last 2 years, which has made us become more defensive and not as good on the offensive. I'm not sure what that could be. It could be age, but then we've got these great players like Maynard, who's doing well at Manchester United, coming to the England side and not being as productive as what he should be doing. I think Maddison was unlucky to not be called up as well. I know he hasn't had a great season, but he's quite reliable for Tottenham and obviously for Leicester. But we lack creativity throughout the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, we're going to move away from the England scene now, because obviously we've spent a bit of time on that. I mean, Richard says, hi, John, I only stepped down for a minute because I seen you talking about England. Look at Rodri coming off at half-time. England should have won. I think Eddie Howe would be a great England manager, says Richard as well. I mean, look, yeah, that's the thing. When Rodri came off, we should have been thinking, oh, hang on, we got a chance here. Rodri's been the best player in the tournament, let's be honest. I don't know if he had knock or whatever it was that he was taken off for. I mean, I did think the referee when he gave Harry Kane that yellow card, I was puzzled to why had Kane got that yellow card, because to me it wasn't a yellow card. And I'm thinking, what? Even Harry Kane's like, why am I getting a yellow card? What have I done? He won the ball. So, yeah, we thought the French referee might have been a little bit for us after Spain dumped France out, but, obviously he wasn't. So yeah.
Cole, can we just mention Cole Walker quickly? I'm quite shocked that he was still selected after the second half. I think he should have been taken off. I don't think he had a great half. Didn't have a great semi-final either. And it really stuck out for the two goals where he was at fault, I'd say, for definitely for one of the goals for the first goal, where he was too compact in. Why was he not far out? We're playing three at the back. That's quite a wide three at the back that we should have. But I think Cole Walker probably needs to retire from international football. He's past 30 years old. And I think there's better players coming through now. I think we've seen that with Mark Gahey. I think he's been a really good addition to the setup. But Cole Walker's, I think, past his prime and should probably retire from internationals.
I mean, we saw that burst of speed from him last night when he went to get the ball and almost pulled him back. Because he had to, because if not, he was gone. Because he's still got pace, even though he's like 33, 34. I think Kieran Trippier will be probably another one who's probably going to retire from international football as well. So a new manager, if Southgate goes, we do get a new manager. The old saying goes, a new broom sweeps clean. So maybe new manager comes in, has his own ways and players and everything. So maybe some of these old guard will be rid of, and it'll be, let's get the next generation in, we've seen, like I say, Spain playing that 16-year-old who was born in Morocco, Lamine Yamal. It's teams that, players like that. Yes, he's had a good tournament, as a youngster. But that's not to say that, if Spain get the World Cup, he could go to the World Cup and be a total and absolute flop. He might not even be anywhere near the Spain team then. He could not do it for Barcelona. It's amazing because sometimes you do see these players burst on the scene in a tournament and they look absolutely fantastic. And they then go to another club if they get a move, and they go to another club and then they flop and then they're nowhere to be seen. And they say, they go on a downward spiral. So, I mean, look, we'll see what happens with Yamal as well. So like I say, so we've done the transfer show as well. So we're going to have a look at some of the players that the media have been linking us with. And these are not necessarily players that we are signing, but it's players that we are being linked with and talked about. So the first one who I'm going to pull up on screen is going to be a bit of a surprise because even I was shocked when I saw this yesterday. And this was linked via Fabrizio Romano. So this player came as a total surprise. But this is a player that even 2 years ago I was saying I would love to see him at Newcastle United because I think he's a hell of a player. So we'll get him on screen. There he is, Xavi Simons. Now then, I've been shouting for the last 2 years to get this player in, because this guy is a baller. Let's be honest. The goal he scored against England was a cracking goal, albeit a race mistake. But he's only 21 years of age. I mean, he seems to have been around forever. Long balls, playmaking, high pressing's his strengths, which is exactly what we need, because that's exactly the type of football we play, the high pressing game. So he would absolutely be perfect for us. We know he plays midfield, centre attacking midfield in left wing. In the Euros, he started 5 out of 6 games, got 1 goal, and got 3 assists in the Euros. But if we take a look at his season last season in the Bundesliga, when he played for Leipzig, he's 32 games all started. He got 8 goals and 11 assists. The guy's an absolute tremendous player, let's be honest. And for defending wise, his ball recoveries are 5.2 every game. So, the guy's a baller. Now, I know he's probably going to be worth a lot of money. Not only are we interested, but Man United are interested, but also Bayern Munich and RB Leipzig. And I reckon the 2 German clubs are probably ahead of us at the moment. But I tell you what, if there was any chance of getting this lad at Newcastle United, this would be a marquee signing. This would be a message sent out to the rest of the Premier League. We ain't messing about. John, Xavi Simons.
He's available. 100%. 100%, Tony. I mean, this guy is an absolute baller. I mean, you look at him, right? I mean, he's a young player, right? I mean, yes, brilliant for Leipzig as well. Plays attack mid. He can play left. He can play on the right. And for me, his strongest position is number 10 for me because he loves to get us forward. That goal against us in the semi-finals has been absolutely fantastic. If you look at his strengths, right, his dribbling skills is very, very strong. I mean, you look at through balls, fantastic. Key passes, fantastic. Long shots has been improved. We saw it. His finishing's fantastic. Block on balls, great. And you know what? His strengths is there. I can't find a weakness from this guy at all, whatsoever. But when he gets the ball, right, he just gets fouled a lot. He loves to dribble. He loves to do layoffs. And attacking threat is fantastic. And he just loves to cut inside as well. This guy is an absolute baller. Tony, you just mentioned it there, mate, right? This guy, right, if we get him, right, I'm not sure we will, but it's going to be competition. And the thing is as well, we're not in Europe. We haven't qualified for European football, but that's not an issue. That's not how that's then. This season, the Bundesliga, right, 6 man of the matches this season for Leipzig, 32 appearances, 8 goals, 11 assists. Yeah, loves his yellow cards, done he 9 this season. And Errol's one's 0.6, and he gets a 7.5 out of 10 in the Bundesliga. Tony, this guy has got a lot, and he's 21. And for me, right, I mean, he is going to be watched. But I heard as well from PSG, it's going to be a loan deal, right? They'd be happy to send a loan deal, but he's rated at 83 million quid. And that's an obligation. Once you loan him, get him on loan, there's an obligation to buy for 83 million quid. Let me tell you something now, right? If we throw the money on this guy, right, I think that's that'll be our transfer done. But we need a right side of midfield as well. Sell Miggy, right? Sell the players like Taggart. Sell players like 36. And then, you know what? Go and get this guy. Sell him a project, right? We can only dream, Tony. We can only dream. But
yeah, but if you get him on loan, John, if it's a loan deal with an obligation to buy, so you wouldn't have to buy him until next season. So just think by then, with all the Adidas money and any more sponsorships coming into the club, the money will be there by next season. Will be, so profit will be up a lot more.
Yeah, I mean 85 million. Yeah, but I don't think you're going to get. I don't think personally, I don't think you're going to pay all that money. But a loan deal, I wouldn't rule it out at all whatsoever. But to spend 83 mil, I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't spend 83 mil at all whatsoever, especially if you haven't got European football at all. However, Tony, I mean, there's going to be a lot of competition for this guy. Yeah, I know everyone's just put their names as well. We've been into over 200 players. Yeah, every time there's been a player involved, Newcastle's name's on it every single day. But
according to Romano, we have made an inquiry. So, now is this the Paul Mitchell effect? Because, the rumours are Paul Mitchell's going to take over the transfers and everything like that. So is this the Paul Mitchell effect? And even if he doesn't come, it, at the end of the day, it just shows you the caliber of player that we're actually looking at. And that's the most important part. It doesn't matter if he comes or not. If he doesn't come, as I say, it's the caliber of player we're going for. And, it just shows you this is the type of sporting director we've got. Because he wants our club to be elite. And, and if that's the players we're looking at, he's doing a hell of a lot better job than Ashworth did for us. That's for sure. Jamie, I mean, what do you think about Simons?
Good player. He's young, isn't he? So you can rely on him for the next few years. £80 million is a bit of a steep slope to be going up, especially on one player. But as John said, you could sell quite a few players. You've got a few bits of dead wood. You've got Paul Dummett. Not Paul Dummett, sorry. You've got a lot of dead wood like Callum Wilson who you can sell. But then you've got to buy a new striker. But look, there's a lot of players in the side that you can get rid of to get rid of the wage bill, get some money into the club, maybe spend 20 million less on the player. I like him, good skillful player, a bit of creativity. I'm sure that'll boost Newcastle into European football. But would you want to spend 83 million on one player in one window? Probably not.
No, not at all.
That's right. And the thing is, right, as well, I mean, after Simmons just goes to show that we are very, 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 very serious as well, getting this player. Yeah, but it just, like you said, it just goes to show, we send out a message to say that we are interested, which is a good thing. But the question on everybody's lips, yeah, are we really after this guy? But Fabrizio Romano is very, very trusted. He's very, very reliable, yeah, and he normally gets it so right.
Yeah, he does, John. And the thing is, I mean, Foxy says it there. I'd be fuming if we'll spend potentially £80 million on Xavi Simons when he was available on a free in 2019 and 22. A good player, but bad business for that price. Absolutely, we should have been all over it when he was on a free. Target, what is been a murder, says Bia. He means target. Sell, someone has to want to buy. Gnonto talks with Everton Sky reporting. Good. I'm pleased about that. I do not want him anywhere near Newcastle. He's not good enough, I'm afraid. He's another Almiron. Runs around like a headless chicken.
I mean, look, go on, Jimmy.
Cheers. Almiron's an interesting one because, John, you're not a big fan of him. Last show, you were saying that you need to get rid of him. But he's a player that you can sell now and get a good price for. If you wait another year, there's a lot less money involved. He'll go back to South America. I don't have a doubt about that. I think, is he Premier League quality? Probably not. Is a Premier League club going to want to sign him? Probably not. But, John, where do you see him ending up? Newcastle will like to sell him this year. But is it return to South America, Europe? Where do you think he goes?
For me, I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I do like Miggy, yeah, because I mean, his work effort is good, right? He's got work rate, yeah, which is very good. He gets your work rate, but at the end of the day, right? I'm not gonna lie, right? But he's had 5.5 seasons in Newcastle United, right? The last season before, he scored 12 goals last season. Not last season before that, 12 goals, right? And then the following season, he reverted the type. Now we, as fans, are ambitious, right? We want to win trophies, yeah. We want to win FA Cups. We want to win Carling Cups. We want to be regular top fours, yeah. Is this guy gonna get us 12 goals and 12 assists every season? Definitely not, yeah. And when you look at this game, right? I mean, its finishing off late has been absolutely woeful, yeah, and not being funny as well. But I think his time is done. He's coming on 30, he's 30 now, right? I mean, I want Niggy to succeed at Newcastle United. I want him to become a top boy. But the trouble is, right, I think for me, I mean, I think he ended up going to Saudi, to be fair, if a serious Saudi club comes and offer the money for him, yeah? But for me, he's got a family at Newcastle. We can't force the guy out, which I think is right. We cannot force him out of the club. But Tony said before, if there's a squad number, like the 25 squad player, or whatever you want to call it, I don't think Mickey should be in there.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, I've said this for a while as well. I mean, look, I know a lot of people are saying probably Saudi will go to or wherever. But I've always thought, if he went to somewhere like the Portuguese league or the Spanish league, that may suit him better for his football as well. It's not as rough and tumble as the Premier League and not as fast paced as the Premier League. But look, maybe somewhere like the Liga or the Portuguese league, that could be well suited to his game as well. But I think he will end up at Saudi Arabia. I don't think he'll ever end up back at Atlanta United unless they're going to be willing to pay the money, and I don't think they're going to pay that sort of money to take him back there. So, I can see him ending up in the Saudi league, but who knows?
Yeah, and this is the thing, Tony, right? I mean, people, right? I mean, I've posted out on social media how many marks out of 10 would you give the guy during his time in Newcastle. I've been getting people saying 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. For me, I'm sorry, not for me. I mean, Foxy said, John, I do not like Miggy. Slate's an effie show, let's be honest. Foxy, let me be clear, right? I do like Miggy, yeah, but we need to start winning trophies, yeah? The 12 goals he scored season before, fantastic, but he didn't carry it through, yeah? The problem is, right, I like Miggy, I don't dislike him, I like his work effort, yeah, but he does not score enough goals, yeah? And there's I really see flashes from this guy now, yeah? Yeah, he scored against United. Yeah, he hit the post against Liverpool. Yeah, he scored what? He scored a goal against PSG. One thing I'm going to say, I would never, ever, 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 ever forget what Miggy's done, scoring the first Champions League goal in 20 years. Let's be real. I'm not criticising, but for me, right, if I want a trophy, I want someone's going to score goals on a regular basis. Yeah, I want to win trophies. Yeah, I don't think Miggy can do it anymore. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, look, Gamer's comment there saying that obviously Gnonto, to be fair, has huge potential, natural right winger. Look, yes, we know he's got potential, but look at his stats last season, the Championship. 19 games started out at 36. Yes, he got three times used in Team of the Week, but he scored 8 goals and 2 assists. I'm sorry, if that's in the Championship, that's not good enough. And let's look at when he was in the Premier League, with Leeds United at the time. In that season, 22-23, he started 14 out of 24 games, scored 2 goals, and got 4 assists then. But, to me, as not the sort of player I think we should be looking at. I think there are better out there, let's be honest. So we'll see. If John does not like Mickey, says Foxy. He slates him every second, to be honest. Benny says, Miggy, Premier League Player of the Month, October 22. Now not good enough for the Premier League. Apparently we need to replace him, though. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that one. Foxy says, Miggy more likely to a club in Brazil than anywhere else close to home. Not a bad shout, that, Foxy. Mm-hmm. Newcastle are going to hijack Everton for Gnonto from reports. Well, I hope not. The thing with Miggy was at number 10 at Atlanta, we never played him there. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Well.
Thing is, though, right? I mean, he joined us as a 10, then he plays him on the right. Yeah, when he plays for Paraguay, if memory serves correctly, he plays on the left. Yeah, and the thing is, though, as well, I mean, Miggy needs to be playing as a 10. Someone needs to tell him say he plays as a 10, and that's it. But I don't ever see Miggy as a 10 for quite a few years now. That's the problem.
That is the problem. Right, let's look at. Let's go to the next player that we're going to look at. When I'll get them on screen. Just bear with me, guys. It's deciding to go slow now. Right, okay. So the next player on screen, there he is. And that is Antonio Silva. Portuguese defender. Right, 20 years of age. He's over 6 foot. So he's still got a lot of room to grow. Plus, he's 21 in October. So I think you'd just sneak in this squad as an underage player. So you'd still not have to register him, but you'd probably have to register him from January because he'd be 21 then. His strengths are his ground duels and his tackling. He's got no outstanding weaknesses. Again, as I say, 20 years of age. And if we look at his stats from last season in Portugal, so he started 29 out of 30 games, Team of the Week 4 times, scored 2 goals, no assists. He's a centre-half, so you're not really going to assist much, is he? Accurate passing per game is 93%, so it's amazing that. Involved in a team that kept 11 clean sheets. He does 2.1 tackles per game. 6. His ball recoveries are 6 per game. Clearances per game is 3. He committed 1 penalty but had no errors that led to a shot or a goal. He won 60% of his aerial duels, 72% of his ground duels, so he's very good. And he had 6 yellow cards all season. Look, this guy is only going to get better and better with age. And to me, he would be the perfect centre-half to have at the club. The natural successor to Share, in my opinion, because at 20 years of age, he could be in that defence for a long, long time. I think the reported fee for this guy is round about the £40 million mark, I think. I could be wrong on that. But look, I mean, to me, if you want a successor to share, I think this guy has got it all. Him and Botman could be the two centre-backs for a long, long time. We need to start bringing younger ones in anyway. I mean, look, John, I'll go to you. I mean, Antonio Silva. He's worth every penny, isn't he, John?
Well, absolutely right. I mean, the thing is, though, got bandits to tell you, is market value is 40 million, but Benfica won double. They want 80 mil. If you look at the players they sold over the years, right? Darwin Núñez, right? Sold in for around 85 million quid. Enzo Hernandez, yeah? Or Enzo Fernandez, sorry, I meant to say, 105 mil, yeah? Benfica are one of the most difficult club to make some to do deals with, yeah? Very difficult, yeah? They drive a hard bargain, yeah? And if you want this guy, it's going to be around 18 mil, yeah? They think he's going to be the future of Benfica, yeah? I think, in my opinion, I think you're stale for another season, yeah, just to get some more game time. That's number one. Secondly, right, this guy is a fantastic young player. He's left-footed. I think he's left-footed, yeah. His passing ability is similar to Shah, you're right. I think this guy could walk straight into Newcastle United. I've got absolutely no problems with him being in the first team straight away. And I think this guy will be absolutely perfect, yeah. But there's reviews, like Foxy said, that Murdrag could be the replacement for Fabian Schär. But for me, I've not watched this guy play. I do not watch Serbian football, to be honest with you. However, his tackling, his passing ability, like you said, Tony's fantastic. He's got 2 goals this season, and his rating for the season's just over 7 out of 10. The world is an oyster for this guy. Yeah, they've got some fantastic defence in Portuguese football. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Don Monde is one of them. Yeah. And Nacho is another one from Sporting Lisbon. They've got some fantastic defenders coming through the ranks. But Tony Silva, I think if he's available, 18 million, that is going to be the going rate, I'm afraid, mate. But I'll put the guy in the shortlist. It'll be one of the best defenders.
But then, John, if we're willing to pay, by the reports of paper, you know, the media, when we're looking at Diamonde, if we're willing to pay 70 million for him, then, you know, say I saw a report this morning saying that supposedly we've only got £100 million to spend the transfer window. Absolute BS that, because look, I'm not being funny. One, how do these people know how much the club have to spend? And this really does annoy me, and it really does pay me off this, because look, at the end of the day, how does these media people, the likes of Luke Edwards, the likes of Craig Hope, or Craig Hopeless, whatever you want to call him, you know, Lee Ryder, how do they know how much money the club have to spend? Are they physically looking at the club's books and saying, oh, that's all you can spend? No, they're not. They are second guessing. That's all they are doing. They are just second guessing. And at the end of the day, we didn't spend money in January. So we've got that extra money from January that we didn't spend, because if you remember in January, we were looking at Edison from Atlanta. Now then, we were willing to pay 40 million for him back then, but for some reason we didn't bother. So we waited until the summer. So we've got that money as well. When you think all the sponsorship money and everything, I think we've got a lot more money than people actually think we have. And at the end of the day, no club out of any of the 92 clubs in the Premier League and the Football League, not one of them clubs reveal how much they have to spend. Now, if you look at, say, someone like Wrexham, can you imagine Wrexham saying they're in League One now? Can you imagine Wrexham saying to the newspapers, oh yeah, this year we can spend £50 million, right? As soon as they go knocking on the door of a fellow League One club, a player they might have there rated for £500,000, they might say, oh, Wrexham, oh, they've got 50 million quid. 2 million to you, Wrexham. It'll be like us, it'll be the Wrexham tax, but we'll have the Newcastle tax, which we've seen before. So if our owners come out and said, we've got £300 million to spend this winter, I'm not saying we have, but I'm just saying if that's what they said to the papers, we got 300 million, and we then go knocking for a player, clubs are going to say, oh, they're not hard up, they've got 300 million, so we'll name our price, and they'll either have to pay it or go elsewhere.
Mm.
And that's why nobody reveals their budgets. Nobody does. Unless there is a club out there that does reveal a budget, but I ain't seen nobody reveal a budget ever. It could be somebody from the club just putting that out to the media. Oh, we got this 100 million. And because they know that'll get around the media. It could just be a spin. It could be a load of spin. And a lot of that happens in football, you know. So, look, nobody actually knows. But we'll see by the end of the summer window how much was spent and who's come in. And then we can all look back and say, wow. Because if we're looking for a marquee signing, supposedly, for a right winger and a centre-back, then we must have a lot more money than people are thinking. If we're willing to pay £60 million for Elise, then we must have more money than they're saying. Because why else would we have gone in for Elise if we weren't going to pay that much money? Do you agree with that, John?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, nobody knows. It's all guesswork. You know what I mean? It's all guesswork. I mean, all these journalists, media, come out to do a clickbait, yeah, just to get the likes and the clicks and the attractions as well all the time. Now, the only people that knows is the club itself, yeah? Not the journalists, not us, right? It's all guesswork. The bottom line is, right, I mean, we just got to wait and see how much you can spend in the summer. Well, you have to understand, PSR has killed us yet again. That needs to be scrapped, I'm afraid. Otherwise, it's killing football as it is. It's been proved over the last few months now. But, Tony, you're right. I just think we need to just take a step back and just let the club do its business. Do you know what I mean? Look what happened. Isak, 63 mil. No one did expect that coming at all. No one did expect that at all. Yeah? Another thing is, Paul Mitchell, Sporting Director, everyone says it's going to be Spurs, yeah, as a nailed on. Guess what? Paul Mitchell comes out to be our SD. Bruno Guimaraes, right? No one ever heard of this guy, yeah? Out of the blue, we agreed. Bosh, yeah? But at the end of the day, right, I mean, you're right. No one knows. Nobody knows, yeah? If you do your research. If you don't know, if you haven't got the details right, don't say out. The one person that's very good at it, right, and she's not a Newcastle fan, she's been on my channel twice, is Alice. Alice talks football. She's very good.
I mean, Tristan says Newcastle make 250 million. Their wages 150 million a year, so there's 100 million there are the facts.
I tell you what, Tristan, you must be a bloody good accountant, my guy. Do you know what I mean?
And he says, we were £60 million in the black last month, so please stop thinking we have a lot of money every time we sign a player. We lose money to sign.
The thing is, though, Tristan, right? Nobody knows. I mean, people are guesswork, yeah? All we got to do is just, I mean, I'm not going to diss you out or anything like that, but the bottom line is, right, just wait and see. Just see what pans out, man. Because you're not going to tell your competitors how much you've got, really, are you? It's the media. No club would tell a competitor. It's like me, right? Being an owner, right, of Dallas Cowboys, right? And Jamie is the owner of, say, Miami Dolphins, yeah? I'm not being funny, right? But I ain't going to tell Jamie how much we're going to spend, how much we've got. Am I?
No, you wouldn't be so silly. But can I just say, spending £80 million on Antonio Silva wouldn't be such a clever thing to do, purely because he's not that proven. He's played 60 games over 2 seasons. He's played 30 games in the last 2 seasons. You can spend £80 million on an overpriced player because we, as John said, Benfica do up their prices when it comes to selling to clubs, especially in the Premier League. A player that we spoke about the other day, Malik Toure. We said he was a very good player. He could play in a variety of positions, of course, centre back, right back, and as a DM. He's going to cost you £25 million, possibly up to 40, but it's a lot less than Antonio Silva. He's playing in a division like Italy, which is a lot more competitive than Benfica, Sporting, and Porto, completely tractoring the Premier Division in Portugal. I'd say the only negative about Malik Toure is he's often injured or suspended, which isn't so crucial for Newcastle United. Of course, last season they had the most injuries the most days lost with players in terms of injuries with 29. You would then think, though, that deals could be easier done with AC Milan because they have 6 centre-backs. They need to get rid of a few of those. And Malik Tour would be a perfect option, 22 years old, so not far off Antonio Silva's age. You would arguably say he's more proven than Antonio Silva because he's played in a higher division. But yeah, I mean, Malik Tour, would you pick him over Antonio Silva for less money, more positions, and he's been a key player for AC Milan?
100%. And there's another player I'll go for as well, who plays in Serie A for Atalanta, Scalvini as well, 6'4". And I'll tell you what, this guy is a proper defender. And he reads the game, he's quick, and he loves the rough and ready when it comes to defending. If he's available, I'd get this guy as well. Because I tell you what, he is sensational, man.
Yes. I mean, look, Newcastle are going to have a busy window, I think, regardless of anything. I think Callum Wilson, I think he probably needs to go. And then we spoke about Jonathan David, and I'm not sure we'll go on to talk about him. You mentioned Nonto at Leeds United. Another player at Leeds United who you should probably get over him would be Somerville, right? He's going to cost maximum £40 million, 31 contributions in 43 games. He's a lot more proven than Nonto. He's talented, playing more positions than him. And in the Premier League, he had six contributions in 28 games. Not the best, but certainly he was 2 years younger back then. He is not a bad player to have, and I'll definitely pick him over Nonto. As well, Nonto's going to have all the hype around him. He'll be more expensive, whereas Somerville's kind of got away from media headlines for the last few seasons.
Fact.
Yeah. I mean, look, if there was another centre-back that we've spoken about in the past on transfer shows and that we've always had a link with, we haven't been linked with for a little bit now, I don't think. And that's Goncalo Nazio. At Sporting Lisbon. Now, he can play right back, left back, and centre back. So he's versatile. Anywhere across the back line, he can play. Now, that's the type of player you need, because then at least you can say, well, if your left back's injured, he can fit in there. If your right back's injured, he can fit in there. And he's also in centre back. Now, his release clause is around £52 million because Liverpool, I think it was January, or it may have been last summer, went in to try and buy him for 25 million, and Benfica said, no. Sporting Lisbon said, no. Come back with a serious offer. If you come back with 52 million, he's yours. And didn't go back for him. I would like to see him at Newcastle, because I think he is a cracking player. And he's only going to get better. But we've also been looking at his teammate, Diamondi, as well, who's worth around 70 million quid. Again, it's an expensive signing. But, as I say, there must be money there somewhere. But, who knows? It's all speculation. That's the problem with these transfers at the moment. Everything's speculation. And that's why we do these shows. We just look at players who've been linked. We just look at our strengths and weaknesses. It doesn't necessarily mean to say we are buying these players, but we just have a look to see what they've got to offer and whether they would fit into our setup. I mean, Toon Talk says Gray would be my first choice for 60 million. He would be, but I think there's going to be a lot of clubs looking at him now because he's had a fantastic Euros. And we know he's rejected a new deal as well. And Daniela says Virgil van Dijk has asked to leave Liverpool. He's rejected a 4-year deal there. Wow.
I tell you what, though. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen,
That's weird news. I'm not going to lie to you. Nothing's come up on anything but what Daniela said there. It's interesting, though. Van Dijk's getting old. If I was in charge, I would cash in on him now. He's going to decrease in value quite rapidly. Last season, there was a lot of mistakes, particularly at the start of the season from Van Dijk. He was putting the blame onto other players when a lot of the mistakes that we were making at the start of the season was his fault. Under a new management, under Arne Slot, you would think that he'd like to bring in some players from final that he's worked with, and some of those would be centre-backs, I'm sure.
Yeah. Foxy says there, Milan have already moved on defenders. Kajia, Caldora, both left. Fori Baloturi, no future at the club either. Pavlovic replaces Kajia. So
he's come from Red Bull Salzburg, I believe. So that means Tour could be on his way. Who knows?
Ignacio, why would the club sign another left-footed centre-back when we have Botman, Kelly and Burn need a right-footer? But he can play with either feet, mate. That's the thing. Tristan says, Botman, Bruno, Isak, all these players are still being paid off over their contracts. Newcastle don't have a massive bag of money. That's why we hired Mitchell to get us the cheap top players. John, I work in football.
Cool.
The Turkish midfielder, Yilmaz, would be great. I mentioned this last week. I think it was on Pete's show. Yeah, I mean, look, Yilmaz, I've liked him in the Euros. He's quick, he's pacey. Yes, he would definitely suit our game. And I think he's available for about 15 to 20 million quid.
Bargain.
Mason says, John, I saw your team getting beaten Norway.
Shut up.
Liverpool to sign Diamond and Ignacio. Evening all, by the way, says Mason. Good evening to you. Talking about people getting beat. Sunderland got beat off Gateshead at the weekend as well. Just put that out there. And all the Sunderland fans are in meltdown because I want the manager sacked already. Jesus, it's only a friendly, for God's sake. But it's great to see the Mackems doing really, really well. Right, well, look, it's going to bring me to the next player. I mean, Jamie already mentioned him there, but we'll have a little chat about him anyway. There he is, Malik Thiaw, however you pronounce his name. 22-year-old German, about 6'3". Obviously, they've got his value down here as 23 million euros, which is about 20 million quid. Long balls are his strengths. He's got no weaknesses. Right back and centre back, he can play. So last season in Serie A, he started 19 out of 21 games, once in Team of the Week, hasn't scored a goal, got 1 assist. But on his defending side, we'll have a look at that, and his passing. His accurate passing per game is actually 92%, which isn't too bad. He was involved in a team that kept only 5 clean sheets when he played. His ball recoveries per game is not that great. It's only 3.6, so not really great in all. He had no errors that led to a shot or a goal, but he did give a penalty away, and he had 5 bookings and 1 red card. So, look, I remember Foxy saying about this guy as well that he's not the best. He's not the best. And to be honest with you, look, I'm reading those stats there. Maybe he will improve. I mean, he's young enough. But if I look at them stats there, they're not really good reading to me. I mean, look, if the guy signs for Newcastle, I'll back this guy 100%. But looking at them stats, I'm not really sold on Malik Thiaw. There must be a reason why Milan are getting rid of him. They don't just get rid of players for no reason whatsoever. So there must be a reason why they want rid of Thiaw. Not sure why they want rid of him, but as I say, there must be some sort of reason there for Malik Thiaw. So look, I'm not sure. But maybe Eddie Howe says something in him that, you know, he might be more suited to the English game than the Italian game. That's the thing, you know. Yeah. The Italian game's a totally different league to English football. So again, we'll see what happens with that one.
Tony, you said, go back to Fabian Schär, when we got, I've forgotten 3 mil. Everyone's saying that he cannot be that good if he's the Deportivo La Coruña. I mean, why they get rid of him, got relegated. Hertha Berlin, not relegated. They got rid of him. They probably think he's not good enough, yeah? I'll be honest, when we got Fabian Schär, right, playing Newcastle, I thought, for me, it's bang average for me. But what has changed this game, right, is Eddie Howe. Changed this game completely, yeah? And Tor, right, is a young defender. He's a young defender, right? He needs a chance. He's only 22, 23. And I think, look, he may come in and do a business. You know what I mean? Thierry Henry, right, went to Juventus, yeah? 1999, yeah? Couldn't say that he's the next best thing. He's struggling in Italy, absolutely big time, struggling in Italy, right? Comes to Arsenal, rest is history. Same with Patrick Vieira, went to Milan, hardly played, came to Arsenal, rest is history. I think this guy come in, right? You got to give the lad time. I believe the Premier League will suit him so much better. Benny's right. Eddie can develop him. He can develop the lad, yeah? And I'll tell you what, I don't think he'd be starting next season if he did come. But I think he'd be covering for Fabian Schär when he decides to move on next season.
Yeah, Foxy says Malik Chow still has potential, but I was only pointing out his weaknesses. Definitely not the worst option, though. GG says check Kevin Danso. He is similar.
He's a beast, an absolute beast.
You mentioned that there's a reason why clubs would sell, and AC Milan wouldn't just sell for no reason. The reason, I think, is they have 6 centre-backs. Although they've sold a few decent ones that on their list, they still have 6. No club's going into any season with 6 centre-backs, right? They need 4, probably a push, maybe 5. I like Malik Toure. I think he's going to be a really good player in the Premier League. He's bound to come to the Premier League. As I said on John's show, Mickey van der Ven, who signed for Tottenham Hotspur, they both have pace. Mickey van der Ven's been a really key player this season. You need fast centre-backs in the Premier League. It's changing. It's evolutionised. Malik Toure will be a really good player if he signs for Newcastle.
Yeah. Well, Van der Ven was a great defender till he came to Newcastle United and played against Newcastle, and he looked absolutely bang average. He looked awful. We ran rings around him. He sacked it. And we made him look bang average. You know, Spurs fans were all saying, oh, look, he's great, he's fast and everything. And he didn't look that great that day. But there again, we were on fire that day, and we tore Spurs apart. But look, you know, so it can happen to some players. But yeah, he was good last season, to be fair, though. Yeah, Danso is a beast. Like John says, he plays for Austria as well.
Good player, good defender.
No way.
Man, you lost to he did. He scored in the 93rd minute, apparently.
No.
Poor goal as well. Poor
no
goal.
Era. There's no new era happening at the Theatre of Dreams next season. No way.
Manager.
Yeah, of course. They need him at the back, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Benny says, Chow is quick, Kelly is quick. All of a sudden, we have 2 alternative centre-backs that can deal with pace in a way that Sharon, Botman and Byrne can't.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
We have 6 centre-backs as well. That is the thing. I mean, Lascelles is done.
Lascelles, I think, will be moved on.
Away. Yeah, I'm sure the Sweden recovered from his injury, but for me, I think he's done. The guy's done, and I think he's been with us 11 seasons now, and could he have done more? Probably. He's just he won't improve. I think he's a steady defender, but for me, we need to move on from Jamal.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Right. The next one that we've been linked with, which I was surprised we were linked with this guy the other day, to be honest with you. And that's Jonathan David there. The Canadian striker who plays for Lille, whose contract runs out next year. So he's only got 1 year left. Well, less than a year left now. Because it runs out on the 30th of June next year. You probably wouldn't pay a lot because he's only got less than a year left on his deal. So if he's not going to sign a new deal with Lille, then Lille will need to offload him. Now, we have a very good relationship with Lille because we have bought a few players from them. Debussy, Kabay, Botman. So, we've bought a few. So we've got quite a good dealings with Lille. Jonathan David, right. He's one of these strikers. He's a bit hit and miss at times. Finishing, anchor playing, position are his strengths. Aerial duels and ball controls his weakness, which does alarm me a little bit. He started 5 out of 6 games in the Copa America. He scored 2 goals. Didn't get any assists. Both scored with his right foot as well, the goals. If we look at his season in League 1 last season, he started 30 out of 34 games. He was team of the week 4 times. He scored 19 goals. So a 1 and 2 ratio, if you want to put it at that. 4 assists as well. He won 2 penalties. He scored 10 with his right foot, 6 with his left foot, and 3 headed goals as well. His passing is 83% accurate per game. He does his bit of defending as well, and his ball recoveries are 2.4 per game, but he's not a defender. He is a 4-1 at the end of the day. And he had 4 yellow cards all season. So disciplinary record isn't bad at all. I mean, look, I know he's not the most complete striker, but again, there's a couple of questions here that a couple of things that I look at and think, is there any way we would sign him? One, does he actually want to come and sit on the bench and play second fiddle to Isak when he's a first choice at Lille and he could be moved somewhere else and be first choice? I would say probably not, in that he wants to be first choice striker. But there again, if you want to build a squad and build a decent squad, you've got to have good strikers to rotate. So you could sort of say, I don't think he would come to us for that reason. I think he wants to be first choice wherever he goes. Yes, the fee might not be too expensive because, like I see, he's got less than a year left on his deal. So Lille will not ask a lot of money for him, I don't think. But his goal scoring record could be hit and miss. And he has had these injuries as well. I mean, John, what's your thoughts?
We spoke about him yesterday on my show as well, but he can play as second striker, he can play as attacking midfielder as well, and he's an out-and-out striker. He's got pace to burn, and he had another good season. I think he's got 19 goals in all comps this season, from what I can see. And we've been linked with this guy before. Yeah, it's not the first time being linked with him. We've linked to him before, and I think we could do with another offensive player as well. What I like about him is tight control and sharp in the play between teammates is absolutely great. He's so direct. He's got speed and pace, and also he's brilliant on the counter attack as well. And sometimes he could be over elaborate sometimes, but at the end of the day, right, he does track back, which I think is good. But you just said it there, Tony, which I should have said yesterday. When he comes to Newcastle and play second fiddle, not just to Isak, but also for maybe Gordon. But if we look for a right side in the midfield and take Miggy's place, we could also put Jonathan David in there. But at the same time, you could alternate. You could play Jonathan on the left, Gordon on the right, or vice versa. Whether it's bring Harvey Barnes into the equation, we don't know that. But we do need an extra dimension to the attack. I think I'd rather take him. And if he's going to place Miggy, so be it. However, if he does come to Newcastle, I wouldn't mind. I'd take a punt on this guy. I'd take a punt. I really would take a punt because he might want to look for something different, want to look for something new, like a new environment, like a change of scenery. I think this guy could come in and, if I'm honest, could shock a few people. Would I take him? I'd take a punt.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Jonathan David, Jamie?
I like him. He's a really good player. We spoke about it on John's show the other day. He usually plays, doesn't usually miss any games. He's usually fit. One game missed last season. He's most likely, though, to go to Saudi Arabia, Chelsea, or Aston Villa. So currently, you might have to overpay if you were to get him. If you wanted to get him, I'd suggest you currently have two strikers, Callum Wilson and Isak. Callum Wilson's quite injury prone. You'd look to move him on, you would have thought. 21 penalties. He scored out of 26. And yeah, £50 million. Is that a bit steep when you need a backline that needs replacing? Yes, it probably is. But with 1 year left on his contract, you might be able to take that down to 30 possibly. He's Canadian. It's English speaking. England's probably a good fit for him as well.
Yeah. Tristan says, Tony, do you not think Kelly's here for left back? Look, Kelly can play left back or centre back. So that's why he's here, for his versatility, Tristan. That's, so I didn't just see he was here to be a centre back, but he can also play that one. But if Lewis Hall's playing left back and playing well, then Kelly's going to have to be a centre back if he plays. Lascelles will get a free in January. I believe he probably will. Would rather go for Elanga from Forest. Yeah, Elanga from Forest is a good player. We saw what he done to Dan Burn at St James's Park. And that was because obviously Nuno Espirito Santo decided to swap sides with him in Hudson-Odoi because he knew Elanga's got pace and he knew Burn was the weak spot, and that's why he targeted. And he got his plan spot on. Elanga, I think they got him for a bargain from Man United for 15 million quid. I really do. Someone Isak knows because they're in the Swedish setup together as well. And I think that could be a good fit. But Forest will probably want about 30 million plus for him. And that is the difference, Even Hudson-Odoi's played well for Forest, let's be honest, and they only picked him up for 3 million. So when you think they bought two wingers for under 20 million quid, very good business for Forest, that I would say. Tristan says, for me right now, I don't trust any transfer, not because of this show, but because Mitchell has full control. So until something, it's all paper talk. Absolutely, that's what it is, Tristan. That's the only thing we do. We just look at who's been linked, and we look at the players, look at their weaknesses and strengths, and and get people involved in the chat. Ask if they think it's a good fit, or if they wouldn't think it's a good fit. And that's all it is. And the only time that players are announced is when they're holding the scarf up and they've got the black and white shirt on. It's St James's Park, and it's been officially announced by the club. Talking to Foxy, there he is. Can Jonathan David play wide? FC24 says no, but I just wonder with his attributes. He's down as a pure out and out striker. He's 2-footed as well, so he can play with either foot. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure he probably could. Southgate out says Clark. He says keep Wilson, saying Mbemo. Jonathan David would flop in the Premier League, says Biavakin. Wow. Botman and Lascelles are almost back. Lascelles is back in training. Yeah, they're both training, but I still think they're a wee off yet. I don't think they're going to be back by the start of the season or by the first few months of the season. But there again, the way Botman's going on, he could be back in October a lot sooner than people think. So, they've done really well. But it's baby steps. That's what it is until you get the bigger steps. Yeah, I'm not sure David would be great in the Premier League either. Foxy says Canada's best performance in Copa America was versus Uruguay with David on the bench. His record makes him look better than he actually is. You need to put a chance on a plate for David to score.
That's the
thing. Good show, nice people. I just think Mitchell will go for players. Don't know how to help the club. We don't know how to help the club grow. I mean, look, Mitchell's record of signing players is, we've seen what he's like. I mean, look, he brought Dele Alli from MK Dons to Spurs. Look at the player he turned into. Mitchell's got contacts all over the world. So, look, I wouldn't be surprised if we start bringing players in from Brazil or Argentina, South Americans. Because there are some bloody good young players out there, and we need to start to get in for some of them. Because you can get them on the cheap as well. So, maybe we're looking in that market as well. Do you lads think we need a left-footed inverted winger to play right wing? I think yes, because we have Gordon and Murphy as right footers already that can play there. That's not a bad show, Benny. Yeah. I mean, look, if you look at inverted right wingers, I mean, I would have thought Miggy would got better. I mean, he had that purple patch that couple of seasons ago. Last season, it just went to pot for him, didn't it? So we need somebody who's good enough on the right wing. That's for sure. Danny Olmo as well. Yes, he did. He signed Danny Olmo. All out for Nico Williams. Do you know what? I would have him in a drop of a hat. Absolutely. What a player. What a player. I think Mitchell will sack off a lot of kids and set a standard of youth to come like Monaco. I mean, look, when he was at Monaco, 7 of their young players ended up in the first team at Monaco. So that just shows you how good the guy is. And not only that, not only did he do that when he was at Monaco, but he also dragged them from being the bottom end of the table to the top 3, and they finished their top 3 back-to-back seasons. So that was all down to the fact of the Paul Mitchell effect as well, and I think we've got the better. I think we've upgraded massively on Ashworth, and we can just sit back now and watch Ashworth fail at Man United and have a good laugh because we've just took 10 million quid off Man United. So, thank you very much, Jim Ratcliffe. We know you didn't want to pay for him before the PSR deadline because you wanted to see us fail it. Well, we didn't fail it. We haven't got a points deduction. So, Ratface, you're welcome to him. Absolutely. Clocky says, would love Danny Olmo. Should go out for him. Yeah, he's a cracking player and he's had a great tournament. Tristan says, yes, Tony's clear out any player who doesn't have the talent to make it. First team tour at Monaco. His assistant works for him at Not How. Yeah, he's brought in John Bunce, hasn't he, as well, performance director. Williams earns €200,000 a week as that rules us out. It's roughly around about £178,000 a week. But there again, there's ways around these big wages. You might look and think we can't afford that, but you could say to Williams, we'll give you a bigger signing-on fee to compensate your wages. So there's ways around it. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised. Foxy says, yeah, we've been linked with a young left back from Palmeiras, Marcus Vinicius, 17, playing with the under-17s team at the moment. Christian says you'll see a lot of Mitchell at the training ground. A lot he did that at Monaco. He goes to training to see what we need and who's not good enough. Well, I like that. I like that hands-on approach. If that's the way he is, then that's the best way to be. You know, you want to see a sporting director who's hands-on, and that's absolutely fantastic. Ashworth is very happy with his new signing. Xerxes, he said he will add to Man United's already highly prolific attack. What a clown, absolutely. Not ways around it when Man U, Liverpool and Chelsea offer him $250,000 a week. Right, guys, we're coming to the end of the show. It's been a cracking show, by the way, and it's been great having John and Jamie on as well. So I'll let Jamie go first because I know Jamie's got to get off as well. Do you want to let people know where they can find you, Jamie, on your social media and channels?
Yeah, well, firstly, Tony, thank you very much for having me on. It's been a great show. Yeah. All it is that link there, Jamie.Mccreedy on all social media platforms and TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Trying to get to, is it the Rounded Figure on YouTube? I do interviews with footballers, Tony and John. Tony's been on before. John's going to be coming on soon. So make sure you subscribe. It'd be a big pleasure if you could. Thank you very much.
That's excellent. Thanks very much. And we'll let you go, Jamie, because I know you've got to get off, mate.
Amazing, guys. Talk to you soon.
Have a good holiday.
Have a nice holiday.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Take care. Ta.
So John's put it up there. There it is, Unite Radio. Good show, guys. Great show, guys. Cheers, Ian. Right, John. Do you want to let people know where they can find you and what you got coming up?
Yeah, thanks so much for having us on again, Tony. And it's been a fantastic show again. Yeah, I've got nothing set up at the minute, but I am looking around. The best thing you can do, guys, is just keep an eye out on the day, what I'm going to do. The transfer show has been an absolute success as well. And yes, we'll be doing more of the transfer shows along the way. The next time we're going to do a transfer show, we're going to look at the best 5 right wingers who can make it in Newcastle United. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled on that one. So if I'm going to do that, the 5 right-sided midfielders will be checking out and where they fit in and where we're going to get them. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And other than that, I'll try and get another guest on. It could be a different fan. Just talk about a football club, so football talk. So please subscribe to John Sinclair TV if you haven't done it. And just support our channels.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. Yeah, I'm not sure what else is coming up this week. At the moment, there's John's channel there, just in case anybody. There we go. That's it there. So yeah, coming up this week. I'm not sure what's coming up this week, but do keep your eyes peeled, and you'll be notified. But if you have enjoyed what you've seen tonight, then please do smash the like. It really does help the channel. So if you're on John's channel, smash the likes on his, and then pop over here and smash the likes for It's All Black and White TV as well. Also, if you're new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe. Come be part of this great community I've got. Yeah, we are 7 away now from hitting 1,200 on the channel. Also, likewise, if you see John's channel and you haven't subscribed, give him one as well. Also, hit the bell notification. That will tell you when I'm live, have any pre-records or any upcoming shows as well. And you can always become a member at any time by clicking the join button. And if you ever want to make a donation, do that in chat. Click on the $sign. All the money is reinvested back in the channel to bring in these great shows as well. It's been an absolute blast tonight. Speaking about England, speaking about transfers, just players who are linked. As I say, these transfer shows, we are not in the nose. anything like that. We are not ITKs. All we do is we look at the media reports that are linking these players, and we have a look at their strengths and weaknesses. That's what these shows are all about. We're not like some people on Twitter who give people false hope. We tell facts, and at the end of the day, we do not lead anybody up the garden path and would never intend to do so. If I did, I would be mortified. So that's why we do these shows, and we just like to make sure that people realise that these are not, that we are not in the nose. So Alan says, bye guys, bye to you, Alan. Thanks very much, mate. Jamie says, thanks for having me on. Top show, as per Tony, is joining me in August and John soon. Yeah, I look forward to that, Jamie. Absolutely. I mean, one thing we do know is Mason says Casey. Yeah, absolutely, Mason. He's the worst one for it, isn't he? Fabrizio Casey. Yeah. So what we have seen today is we saw one team coming back home from Germany and going the other way. It's Newcastle United. They're off to Germany for a training camp at the Adidas headquarters. So probably the planes passed each other as like passing ships. Yeah. So as I say, Anthony Gordon now and Kieran Trippier can go and have a well-earned break, go and sit on the beach for a couple of weeks somewhere, and and have a rest, and then come back to pre-season training. And let's hope we keep, people keep mentioning that. Hopefully we keep Gordon. I don't think Gordon's going anywhere. I think the minute he gets back, I think they'll be sitting down with him with a new contract, because look, there's no way we're selling him to Liverpool. And why would Anthony Gordon want to go back to Liverpool after all the carry-on he had when he was at Everton? I've heard some Liverpool fans saying they wouldn't have Gordon there if he was on a free. And it's like, what? So if that's the way they are, I wouldn't go there, Gordon. Just stay with us. But I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's staying at Newcastle. And we have to keep these players, because we have to build around these players. If we want to be an elite team, we got to build around these players. The likes of Bruno, the likes of Gordon, the likes of Isak. We can't be selling any of these players. And I'm sure the club will speak to Anthony Gordon. So we will wait and see on that one. John says he's off to Japan on Friday, a week on Friday for 10 nights, so can't wait for it all. Doing lots of vlogs, so keep your eyes peeled, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've seen the timings of the game. One's when I'm going to be at work in the middle of the day, and I think the other one's on a Saturday, 1 p.m. UK time. So
the second game is against Yokohama at the National Stadium, and 3 days before that, it'd be, or 3 days before that, as you are Red Diamonds, and that stadium, Tony, looks an absolute picture.
Yeah. Well, the Japanese are advanced as well, aren't they? They're better than us, aren't they? They're miles ahead of us in technology and things like that. So they're very, very clever people. Halsey is great.
I want to go with the Japanese fans. Before the game, I'll go and stay. I'm going to see if I can hang out with some Japanese fans as well. Try and get some interviews with them as well. Get into the mix of them. Get into the amongst them as well. And then they'll be happy about that. Do you know what I mean? So, bosh.
I think so, John. I think it'll be, I think, they seem to be friendly enough people. So I think, yeah.
Exactly.
Foxy says John should do a J-League transfer special.
I don't need watch the Japanese league, mate. I'm sorry. Yeah. Just guy.
So yeah, guys and girls, as I say, it's been a blast tonight, and it's been absolutely great. I'm absolutely knackered because obviously I've travelled up to Newcastle Saturday, travelled back Sunday. I've had an exhausting weekend, and I'm ready for my bed as well. Because I've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm ready for my bed as well. Yeah. But look, it's been great tonight, and let's hope in the next couple of days, we'll have a press conference and we'll see Southgate saying he's resigning from the England team. I think he's done his time now. I think it's time for him to move on and let somebody else go in there and take over this squad. and take us that one step further of actually winning some silverware, because I don't think Southgate can win us the silverware. He's been to 2 finals and he's fluffed both finals up, in my opinion. So time to go, Gareth. You've had your time. You've had 8 years. Let somebody else do it. Off your pop. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, and go and enjoy your semi-retirement or whatever, because I don't think you'll be getting a job in club football in a hurry either. Unless Man United have a vacant job, and then you can go there and be Dan Ashworth's manager. But anyway, just remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white, and it's nice that we're back to the normal football now. Yes, we've enjoyed the Euros. It's been great. But now it's the time to look forward to the pre-season and look forward to the season starting in August as well. So look, not long to go now. The Euros has been a great distraction because it's given us some football, which is what we wanted. And it just means this new season's going to come round quicker than we would have normally had if there was no Euros or World Cups on. So look, it's been great. But anyway, from me, it's bye-bye.
And how are the lads? And I'll see you soon. See you soon.
Yep. How are the lads?